And now, Legal Insights with Gus and Astapulo Law Firm.
We expect a business to sell products or provide services, not put your safety at risk. But when basic security is ignored, a night out, shopping trip, or even a hotel stay can turn into a life-changing event. On this week's Legal Insights, we want to welcome J.P. Walker, attorney with the Gus and Astapulo Law Firm. Glad to have you with us.
Layla, thank you so much for having me.
This is such an important topic because these types that we talk about, workplace injuries, of course, personal injuries if you're on the road, but this is something that's really interesting. Maybe you could tell us what are some of the examples, I just gave a few, but where you could actually be injured just doing everyday things.
Yeah, so everyone thinks personal injury, they think car accident, right?
Yeah.
But I want to talk a little bit about stuff that's separate from that. So these are called negligent security claims. And what it is it's if you're injured on a premises, a commercial premises, and it involves, some sort of criminal activity. So we represent the victims in those cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, so it could happen at an apartment complex, for instance.
Absolutely. Apartment complexes, we see it at malls, bars, nightclubs, even gas stations.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what happens when a crime does occur at one of these commercial properties that they haven't taken those reasonable steps to protect you?
Yeah, so that's where you're able to make the claim because it's their duty. You're there as a customer or a tenant. It's their duty to make sure you're safe, right? And there's security there for you.
Yeah, what are some examples of negligent security?
So we see it a lot, apartment complexes where it's supposed to be a gated community. There's holes in the gates, or the gate doesn't work, or they're supposed to have security guards and they're not there, right? We also see it a lot of times with malls, same thing. Prior instances, a lot of foreseeability for the criminal activity, where it's just constant criminal activity.
And well-lit parking lots and things like that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Another one we see a lot too is security cameras. A lot of times they look like they're for show, and they are. They're not even working at all.
Oh, no. So if you were to go into an apartment complex and start renting there, how can you be proactive and say, well, I'd like to know that your security cameras are working? Is it within your rights to do that?
Absolutely. And we suggest, you reach out to management and let them know and ask if they are working. And if they're not, make them aware of that, because that could add potentially down the line to your claim that you made them aware and they had knowledge that this wasn't working.
Okay. Why do you think that some victims realize that they may or may not have a claim? I think we take some things for granted and we let it slide, but how would one know that they actually do have a valid claim?
Yes, that's a great question. A lot of our victims at first don't know there's a claim, and that's because they only look at the criminal who did this to them, right? But you can look past that and look at these businesses, and a lot of times this crime could have been prevented if the businesses had taken the proper security. So, that's what people get hung up on, is only viewing the criminal to go after.
Okay, and what are some of the claims that commonly form a basis? So some of the security failures, I should say, that commonly form a claim.
Yeah, so like we spoke about, the security cameras, the gates not working,
right.
But a major component of this is the foreseeability of it.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, so what we do is we have a team that we work with, investigators and experts, and we treat it almost like a criminal case where we do a whole investigation into this complex or mall, and we pull up all the prior crime data. So we can show, look, there's been 3 murders this year at this specific complex. Yeah, and it's crazy, there's a lot, and it's unfortunate, but that gives us the ability to say, you guys knew that this is a high crime area and you have done absolutely nothing to fix it.
Right, exactly. It's knowing the statistics within the area, and it is incumbent upon business owner, building owner, landlord, whatever the case may be. Does this also work with landlords? Say, if you rent a house, would that be considered a commercial property, or is that more residential, even though it's being used as a business to rent to a tenant?
Yeah, if it's a business and they're renting it to you, for sure. We see these landlords and these businesses, they're making money off of you. Right, as a tenant, as a customer, and as going to these places, you expect this security, and a lot of times they're not providing it, unfortunately.
Yeah. What does the legal process look like after an incident?
So after an incident, we ask, reach out to us, and we will do our pre-lawsuit investigation, where we'll kind of get an idea of what type of place this is, what the prior crime is like, what security deficiencies there are, right? So we know if there's a claim or not. And then if there's enough to get us to that point, we will file a lawsuit.
Okay, and then South Carolina, you know, they have the state has its own laws compared to other states in the country. So how does this state impact the favorability of a claim?
So South Carolina has pretty good laws set up for it, but
Okay.
we do have to show a certain amount of foreseeability, like we mentioned,
Right.
and also that the business took on some sort of undertaking to give security, and they did it negligently.
Okay, and what should you do immediately after an incident?
Immediately after, you should call an attorney. That way we can start investigating it right away and preserve as much of the evidence, because we have seen in cases where they find out that litigation may be coming down the pipes and they make changes at the complex. And then we come in later and we can't see, you know, the broken gate, the security cameras that aren't working, because they go ahead and fix it ahead of time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's important to contact an attorney right away.
And maybe take pictures as well. Everyone carries a phone. You can take pictures on your phone.
Absolutely. Snap as many pictures as you can.
Yeah. Great advice, JP. Thank you so much for joining us. And for anybody who wants more information on the Gus and Astapulo Law Firm, you can go to their website. It's on our screen, or you can call 843-310-5555. Glad to have you with us. Thanks
Thank you,
again.
Leah.
We'll be back after this.
This has been Legal Insights with Gus and Astapulo Law Firm.